Hi everyone, in this video I will explain the horror film called Imaginary. Imaginary is an American supernatural horror film released on March 8, 2024. The story of this horror film begins with Jessica running out of a small door because someone was chasing after her. A moment later, her father, Ben, told her that your friend is never coming back. Then his father turned into a ghostly form of a spider and started attacking Jessica. At that moment, Jessica woke up and all those terrible incidents that happened to her were just a nightmare. Jessica's husband Max insists her to live together at her father's old house because all the stuff with Max's ex-wife inside their current house is giving them too much stress. So the family moved to Jessica's father's old house. When Jessica enters her childhood house after a long time, she discovers many letters sent to his father from the hospital. While entering her childhood room, she saw paintings all over the wall. She also finds a video recorder on her dad's boxes. In the video, she was just a child and was playing happily. This proves Jessica was once very happy, but she could not remember anything about her childhood memory. Max told her that she was just 5 years old when she left her father's house and moved to her grandmother's house. This may be the reason she is unable to remember her childhood memory of her father's old house. The next morning while Jessica was working, the younger daughter Alice came in her room and told her to play hide-and-seek game. Jessica tried to hide, but a call came from her office, and she walked outside the house. Alice came looking for Jessica and entered the basement of the house. There Alice discovers a teddy bear named Chauncey. After some time, Jessica entered the house and told Alice that she got a call from her office. But Alice told Jessica that it was okay because she found a teddy bear named Chauncey to play with. At night, while Jessica and Max were preparing to sleep, they heard their younger daughter Alice talking to her imaginary friend Chauncey, who was the teddy bear. After some time, Alice came to their room and told that she was playing hide-and-seek with her imaginary friend Chauncey. They turn off the light and hide under the blanket. At that time, Jessica heard the footstep of someone walking inside the room, but Max didn't hear anything. So Jessica looked around but saw no one. She then checked under the bed, but Alice scared her and made fun of her. But actually the teddy bear is seen laying under the bed. The next morning Jessica was working on her children's storybook called Molly Millipede. Alice came and told that she is playing a new game called Scavenger Hunt with her imaginary friend Chauncey, and she wants something happy because it is on the list. So Jessica gives a smiley face ball to Alice. At night, Alice's imaginary friend lures Jessica into the basement of the house using the smiley face ball. Inside the basement, Jessica finds a box containing many items used by her when she was 5 years old. There she finds an old painting of a strange door on a paper with text that says never ever. But she has no idea what the paintings really meant. Then she returned back to her room, but on the doorway she heard Alice talking with someone. At first, Jessica thought that Alice was talking with her imaginary friend. So she takes out her phone and records a video of Alice talking with her imaginary friend Chauncey. At that moment, the ghostly figure of the imaginary friend appeared for a moment right behind Jessica. Then suddenly an unknown woman ran out of the room and told the ghost to stay away from Alice. But instead, the unknown woman pushed Jessica to the ground. That unknown woman is actually the real mother of Alice and Taylor. Later, police came to the house and Max told them that his ex-wife's name is Samantha, and she has a mental problem. So, they hand over her to the police. The morning while Jessica was working outside the house, Alice came near her and asked her to give her another paintbrush because the paintbrush is on her scavenger hunt game list. Later on that day, Max left the house and went for a tour, so only the three of them are left in the house. Just after Max left the house, an old woman who lives in the neighbor named Gloria came near Jessica. Gloria told Jessica that she was a writer too and her childhood babysitter. But Jessica could not remember who the old woman Gloria actually is. So Gloria shares some memories of Jessica's childhood. Gloria told that when Jessica was a child, she also used to play with her imaginary friend. After that, Jessica went to the hospital to meet her father, Ben. At first, Ben thought that Jessica was his nurse. Then Jessica read the story from her book, The Molly Millipede. After that, she told her dad that she should head back to the house. At that moment, Ben came to recognize his daughter Jessica. He told that Jessica disappeared in his old house. He further said that she should stop talking at CB. But Jessica could not understand what her father really meant by CB. Then she returned to her home. When Jessica reaches her room, she finds out Alice ripped her painting. So she came to Alice's room and saw Alice sleeping under the blanket. Jessica asks Alice why she tears the paintings and that it should never have happened in the future. At that moment, Jessica saw Alice playing outside the house. So Jessica removed the blanket and saw it was the teddy bear that was sleeping under the blanket and not Alice. While Alice is playing outside the house, her imaginary friend Chauncey told her to slam her hand down onto a nail. But fortunately, Jessica came there and narrowly stopped Alice from slamming her hand down onto a nail. Because of such unnatural behavior of Alice, Jessica called a child psychologist doctor named Soto in her house. Dr. Soto came to the house and told Jessica that she wanted to have a conversation with Alice. Then Dr. Soto set up a video recorder inside a room. Alice brought the teddy bear inside the room and put it on a sofa. Then Dr. Soto started the conversation with Alice. She asks Alice to tell about her imaginary friend Chauncey. Alice says that Chauncey loves her a lot. Her favorite part about her imaginary friend Chauncey is his eyes, because looking at his eyes, she can see and imagine anything in them. But at the last moment there was an argument and shouting between Alice and her imaginary friend Chauncey. Alice got angry and ran out of the room. During the argument, Dr. Soto heard Alice saying the phrase never ever. After that, Dr. Soto told Jessica that Alice brought up something called the never ever. This reminded her of another patient she encountered over 10 years ago. Dr. Soto shows her the footage of a past child patient named Luis from her laptop. The boy Luis also said the same phrase as Alice said, that is, the phrase never ever. Dr. Soto told Jessica that the boy went missing a week later and was never found. Then Jessica walked to the basement and searched her childhood painting about a door containing the phrase never ever. So this is proof that Jessica too had an imaginary friend when she was a child. She thought that the unnatural behavior of Alice was done by the teddy bear. So she wanted to destroy the teddy bear, but the teddy bear went missing. Later, she discovers that only she and Alice can see the teddy bear. Dr. Soto told Jessica that maybe an incident occurred in her childhood, and whatever is going on in her childhood, Alice is turning into it. After that, Dr. Soto left the house. Meanwhile, the imaginary friend Chauncey took Alice to the basement. He asks Alice to burn all the items she collects from the scavenger hunt game, and then she disappears. Later, Jessica and Taylor find out that Alice is missing from the house. Taylor blames her stepmother, Jessica, that Alice ran away from the house because she came into their family and screwed everything up trying to be a perfect mommy. Then Jessica went inside the house, and Taylor walked in the nearby area looking for her missing younger sister Alice. On the way, Taylor met with the old woman Gloria. Gloria took Taylor inside her house and explained that the disappearance of Alice and all the strange incidents happening to them were done by the imaginary friend, Chauncey. She further says that the imaginary friend, Chauncey, may have taken Alice into a magical spirit world called Never Ever. Meanwhile, Jessica also investigates the disappearance of Alice and the strange things happening in her house. She goes through her old belongings, and she finds out the word CB written on the wall when she was a child. At that moment, she remembers her father telling her to stop talking at CB. She realized that CB actually means her childish way of saying Chauncey Bear, which is also her childhood imaginary friend. Jessica also found out a list written on the wall after playing a scavenger hunt game with her imaginary friend when she was a child. So she came to realize that Alice's imaginary friend Chauncey was also her childhood imaginary friend, and he had taken Alice to the magical spirit world called Never Ever. Later, Gloria and Taylor came to the house. Now they all enter the basement and try to open a doorway to the magical spirit world called Never Ever. They all complete Chauncey's scavenger hunt game together. Jessica burns all the items mentioned in the scavenger hunt game and burns them. After that, a glowing blue door appears, leading them to the magical spirit world called Never Ever. After entering the magical spirit world, Jessica and Taylor were nervous and tried to find Alice. But Gloria was so happy because she believes this secret world is the kingdom of imagination, and they can be whatever they want it to be. Then a moment later, Jessica heard whispering voices coming out of a room. When they look inside the room, they see Jessica's repressed memories. As a child, Jessica was lured by Chauncey into the magical spirit world, Never Ever. Jessica's father, Ben, rescued her but was driven mad after seeing Chauncey's eyes, resulting in Jessica being sent to live with her grandparents. After that, Gloria closes the blue door because she is obsessed with this magical spirit world. Gloria reveals that she had been in contact with the imaginary friend, Chauncey, who has promised her the power of the Never Ever if she brought them there. She further said that they can create anything here with their imagination, and they will be happy here forever. But instead she is attacked and killed by Chauncey Bear. Jessica knows that this place is really dangerous for their life. So, they start searching for Alice in the Never Ever world. After searching for some time, they find a door similar to the door of their old apartment in the city. They opened the door and found Alice inside a room that was filled with a lot of presents. At that moment, the imaginary friend Chauncey takes the form of Alice and Taylor's real mother, Samantha, and enters the room. Jessica told Alice and Taylor that she's not real and she is imaginary. So, it's time to go to their real world. But unfortunately, the blue door is already closed by the old woman, Gloria. Jessica knows that in this magical world, imagination has power. So she collected all blue items and colors and tried to create a new blue door. Taylor and Alice also helped Jessica to create a new blue door. Finally, they successfully create a new door. Taylor and Alice were able to escape through the blue door, but Jessica failed to escape. She was attacked and pulled down by the Chauncey Bear. But Taylor came through the previous blue door and is able to rescue Jessica from the magical world. After that, the family members reunite with Ben at the hospital. But Jessica realizes that she is still stuck in the magical world, Never Ever. The imaginary friend, Chauncey, used Alice as bait to get Jessica into the magical world and seeks revenge because, when Jessica was a child, she abandoned him. All the family members turned into ghostly forms and told Jessica that now she will never live this magical world. Jessica felt helpless, but fortunately Taylor came and saved her. The imaginary friend, Chauncey, transforms into his true form, which is a creature that looks like a monstrous spider and chases them to the doorway. The creature attempts to drive Jessica insane with his eyes, but Alice sets the creature on fire. Then they seal the blue door and lock the creature inside. The fire inside the house spread, so they ran out of the burning house. The next morning, they check into a hotel but are frightened by a child playing with a teddy bear that resembles Chauncey. So, they leave the hotel and look for another hotel for their safety.